Hey everyone, this is Keith from Gaming Trend, and I'm here at the Origins Game Fair at the Wattsalpoag booth.
Wattsalpoag.
Oh, Wattsalpoag, sorry.
Yep.
Here with Chris Gould, who is the owner.
Owner, game designer, yeah, pretty much everything.
Cool, and we're here with their latest game, Switching Tracks. Give us an overview of how the game plays.
Switching Tracks is a pick up and deliver game. You pick up in cities. The goods are put into a random city by turning over cards here. So if Houston is empty, I turn over a card and say Houston gets 3 trees. So we put 3 trees in Houston. You deliver them to a city that matches the color, and we have little stickers that actually have the shape on there. So the trees have to go to one of these 3 green cities, Chicago, Cleveland, or Boston. On your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to start by throwing switches. Everybody has a train that starts with a speed of 2, but you can improve that. It starts with 1 car, but you can improve that. And you start with 1 switchman, which means before you move, let's say I'm sitting here in New Orleans, I can throw one of these switches. Right now, if I go through here, I'm going to go straight through to Atlanta, but if I want to, I can change this switch, go over there to Memphis, or I can turn it this way and go down here to Jacksonville. So each switch out there has 3 different settings here. So if I want to actually pick up this apple and take it to Denver, I want to change this one so it'll go straight through to Denver. Every turn before I go, I can change 1 switch because I have 1 switchman, but I can get more switchmen as the game goes on. So then I start my turn, I can pick up an apple. I have 1 car, so I can take 1 good at a time. And my speed is 2, so I go through 2 cities. So I go 1 is Houston, and I deliver wheat there if I had wheat on my train. And then 2, I finally get up here to Denver and deliver apples. When I deliver, they go back here into the depot.
Okay.
And then I'll pick up a wheat. And now I've gone 2, so that's as far as I can go. I'll be collecting everything I deliver back here in my depot. Every time I deliver it, it's going to go back here. I can use those to upgrade. I could spend 2 goods to increase my speed, and now I can go 3. Or later on I can upgrade it and even go 4. I can go up as high as 6, and that's as high as the die goes, so there we go. I could also spend 2 goods to increase my length by adding another car here. Now I can pick up 2 goods at a time. Carry 2 at a time. Everybody can only have 1 flat car. After that I have to buy box cars if I upgrade, and the box cars are good but they're heavy. So every time you buy a box car, your speed goes down by 1. Like that. I can also spend 1 good to buy another switchman. So now I can throw 2 switches before every turn, and I can buy more and more and more. So you're upgrading your trains, you're delivering goods. What you're trying to do actually is get these contracts. There are 10 contracts out here. If I end up having 2 apples and 2 wheat back here, I can spend those, just toss them in, and I've got this contract. First player to get 5 contracts wins the game. So that's what you're going for. There's also a special bonus when you get a contract. When I get a contract, I get to look through these office cards and choose one that I like, and then I get to use that special power on future turns. This one I can do twice, so I'm going to put these 2 activation discs on here. This one is a manager's office that says deliver 1 good to a different colored city. So if I want to deliver cars to Atlanta, say I have to spend 1 of these, and now I can deliver cars to Atlanta, or whatever I want. There are 9 different offices. Everybody starts with 1, and you get 1 every time you make a delivery. But like I said, or every time you make a contract, sorry. And like I said, the first player to get 5 contracts wins the game. That's it.
Cool. And this is available now?
This is available now. It was supposed to be ready in time for Essen, but it wasn't. This is the very first convention where we've actually had them ready for sale. They came in finally in April, I believe.
How many players does it support?
It takes up to 5. We get the 5 colors here. Everybody gets their own little depot and train.
Okay, and
2 to 5 players. Yep.
What does it retail for?
Retails for $45.
Okay, great. And now we're taking a look at Jet Set here.
Yeah, Jet Set is an earlier game. It's one of our best sellers. We even have an expansion for it called Distant Lands. Right now, we are in the process of getting a second expansion ready, but that isn't quite ready yet. Jet Set is a game about creating links on the board using airplanes. There are rows of short flights and long flights out here. For example, Vienna-Rome is going to be a short flight because it only takes 1 link to go from Vienna to Rome. Whereas Vienna to Edinburgh, it's going to take a lot longer because you got to go all the way up to here. So on your turn, you have a lovely little cheat sheet here. On your turn, you can only do 1 action, so that actually makes the turns go quick. it's a money game. You've got money here. You can place planes on an unowned link. So if I want to buy this link from Madrid to Bordeaux, or if I want to say London to Copenhagen or something like that, I would place one of my planes on there, and that costs €5, and then I would add another 5 to claim the link as my own. I could put 2 planes on there. Each plane costs €5, but the links cost whatever. The short one, like Lisbon, Seville, is only 4, but we got a big one here from Madrid to Milan that costs 7. Now later on, I can use these planes, but they're going to come off the board when I use them, which is why I might want to put more than one plane. Another thing I can do is if I already own them and I've taken the planes off, I can put more planes on them. So I spend money once again to put planes back on my own links. I can also put a plane on a link that somebody else's owns. So if I want to get from Amsterdam to Oslo, I can use my plane to get to London, but then I have to put a plane over here on Yellow's link. I then pay Yellow to get to Copenhagen. Once I have enough links to get where I'm going, like Amsterdam to Oslo via Copenhagen or London, then I can claim a card, and that's an action in itself. I look at the card here and I say, oh look, there's Oslo Copenhagen, pretending there's Oslo Copenhagen. Well, that's easy. So I claim that card by using up this airplane. It comes off. I take this card and I put it in front of me. Now this is worth 1 victory point. The short ones are worth much fewer victory points, the long ones obviously more. But these cards also get you income. So when I claim that, it's new. My market is new by putting 3 chips on it. It goes to show I have 3 chips. And then later on, I may have claimed more. As I use these, I'll be taking the chips off, so they may have fewer or even no chips on them. So the final thing I can do, income is not automatic. I have to actually spend my turn taking income. And at the bottom of the cheat sheet here, it says income is €2 for each flight card with no markers, and 5 for each flight card with markers, and then remove 1 marker from each flight card. So I would get 5, 10 plus 2 is €12. I would take these off, and that's my whole turn. On my next turn, I could take income again if I really wanted to. I could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and take one off of here. So you constantly want to get new flight cards so you have more income. But these 1 points get you just as many much as income as the 7 points, but these are worth a lot more victory points, so you want to work your way up to that.
Do the routes get replaced as you take them off?
The routes get replaced. The minimum number of routes in a row is equal to the number of players, and the maximum is double the number of players. You start with 8 in the 4-player game with 8 short routes and 4 long routes. At the beginning of my turn, if there are fewer than that, I just take the next one and I put it out there. Okay. You can pay €1 at the beginning of your turn to fill one all the way up to 8, so you have more choices. This is before you take your turn, so you have more options. Now in these are shuffled 2, each of these decks are shuffled 2 vacation cards. You can find a vacation card for it. Looks like that. When a vacation card comes up, we put it over here on the vacation space. As soon as 2 vacation cards come up, then it's vacation time. This is end game time. Now the game doesn't end immediately. Everybody has 2 final flight cards, and you can't play them until your vacation time comes. Okay. But once there's vacation time, then you can do your final flight, which is worth a ton of points. But it's a bit longer. I have to go to Edinburgh to Amsterdam, which is pretty easy, but I got to go via Barcelona. So I got to go from here way down here, then back up to Amsterdam, whatever. But once I can do that, and once again I'd be using my own planes, then the game is over for me. On my next turn, instead of doing anything, I'm just going to pass. And every time I pass, I'm going to mark it by putting a plane on here. So every turn I get extra is going to get me extra victory points. As soon as one player passes 5 times, or as soon as everybody's played their final flight, the game's over. You just calculate up, add up all the victory points here. This one is worth 14 because it's 10 plus 2 points for each time I pass. And the person with the most victory points wins.
How many players does it support?
This is up to 6. I have 2 more colors over here, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I've heard people say it's their favorite 6-player game because the turns go so quick. Since you can only do one thing on your turn, it just comes right back to you real quick.
Right.
Yep.
And this is available out now.
Yep.
How much does it retail for?
This retails for, what is it, 32?
Okay.
And we have the expansion Distant Lands retails for 25, and that adds more different cards. It adds more cards to these decks, and it has 4 more extra things you can put in, including flights to Washington, D.C. and Tokyo.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
really long distance.
Really
flights.
long distance. They're very expensive, but they get you a lot of victory points. Yeah,
Right, yeah,
exactly.
And how long does it play in about?
This plays in about an hour. Basically, more with more players, less with less players. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're still here at Wattsalpoag, and they have 2 new dice games to show us here today at their booth.
This one is a Fistful of Penguins, designed by Jonathan Franklin. It's a game about rolling dice to add animals to your zoo. There is a payoff card here that tells you how much you get for each animal. On your turn, you're going to roll 4 dice. You start with a certain number of penguins. These are penguins. You start with 6 penguins. They have 1s and 5s, so yellow, gold, or 5. You roll 4 dice, and then you can either take what you get, or you can spend a penguin to add more dice. So I could spend a penguin to buy another die and roll it in there. I could spend another penguin to buy another die, or I could spend a penguin to pick up whichever dice I don't like and re-roll them. Now each particular animal has a different way of scoring. Like the lions score $7, but then you can't score anything else. And the kangaroos kind of score by the square of the kangaroos, so you want a bunch of kangaroos if you get kangaroos. You can roll penguins, so you have more penguins to spend to buy more dice. And at the end of the game, all you do is you add up all the money you've made, and whoever's made the most money wins the game. Very quick and easy, good for families.
It lasts about how long?
This one's maybe a 15-minute game.
Cool, so a nice little filler.
A short filler pickup game, yeah, and it's good for family friendly, and it has nice cute penguins. See?
Yeah,
I like
those are actually nicer components than what I would expect for a game like this.
Yeah, this is a good one, I like that. We also have Buccaneer Bones, which is a new one that got kickstarted last year. This one, every player has a map with 6 islands and the main port there, and they have 6 pirate ships. It's a dice game of moving your dice to the islands to dig up treasure. These are treasures. So on your turn, you're going to roll 4 dice, and you're trying to get pairs or 3 of a kind. You get 1 re-roll for free, so I might pick those up and re-roll. There we go. I got a pair of 4s. Now this means that ship number 4 can go 1 space if it got a pair. If I'd gotten 3 of a kind, then it could go 2 spaces, and now it's on the island. Each island has a special ability. If I'm on this island, that shows a die, so I actually get to roll 5 dice next time instead of 4. And if I get over here, then I get to roll all 6. If I'm on this island, I can take any of my dice and add or subtract 1, so I could turn a 5 into a 6. This gives me an extra reroll. Now once I'm on the island, if I roll 3 of a kind for an island that I'm already on, like 3 4s here, then I get to dig up a treasure. So this island, they would dig up a treasure, bring it back to the mainland for me, and now I have 1 treasure. First player to get 3 treasures wins the game.
Very cool.
That's simple.
Yeah, it looks like it's a very light game. And
It's another light game, yep.
yeah, like in 15 minutes or so.
Another 15-minute game, and maybe even 10. And this has the solitaire version also.
Oh, cool. And how much do these retail for here?
This one, Fistful of Penguins, retails for $17.95, and Buccaneer Bones for $9.95.
Cool.
So it's a quick $10 4-player game.
Well, thank you for showing us around your booth today.
Sure, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.